boat mishap after boat mishap has occurred on Nigeria's waterways in recent times, from Zamfara to Sokoto, Taraba, Niger State, and others, which has left behind a trail of fatalities. But could this have been avoided? That's our question on Special Report.
Nigeria is split down the middle by two rivers, River Niger and River Benue, and then the confluence in Lokoja, Kogi State. These are the largest rivers that make up the bodies of water the country is blessed with, whether in coastal areas of Lagos, of River State, or Cross River State, the lakes of Abuja, Lake Chad, and others. Many rivers, many streams, and tributaries. So to get to the other side where land is, of course, bridges are constructed. Some of the most popular, the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos, one of the bridges providing vehicle access between the island and the mainland. But where the distance is not that great, and in the absence of bridges, and at times because of terrain, water transport is the next best thing. And this is where the rubber meets the road, or to coin a phrase, the rudder meets the water, as Nigeria has recorded a number of unfortunate boat accidents, and some as recently as last month and in the last 1 year. On the 29th of August 2025, at least 15 people died and 3 others remain missing after a boat capsized in Gumi local government area of Zamfara State. Boat mishaps can be a very high casualty and tragic occurrence, such as the one that occurred in Sokoto State, when the Kojia community were thrown into mourning following an accident involving over 50 persons, including traders from the weekly market. Following the incident, officials of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and the Nigerian Inland Waterways Authority swung into action. The first phase of rescue operations began with no fewer than 25 people still missing, while 25 persons were rescued alive. The officials blamed non-adherence to safety measures, overloading, and other malpractice for the incessant boat mishaps.
Honestly, as my learned colleague said, what we are doing now is to make sure we make enforcement. Enforcement of transportation court is the only solution. Don't do this. If you do it, you will be finalized. We take you to the nearest police station, then we have a transportation court being gazetted by the federal government. If you do this offense A, you will be charged to court. We sent the one that requires sentence, they sentence you to 6 months, and the one that require penalty, you pay the penalty. So invariably, I think the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy are trying with all other agencies to make sure that this transportation code is being enforced throughout the country.
What we need in this country is enforcement, because since when the NAMET and NASA make their prediction known, NEMA, NIWA, and state emergency management agencies, we were not resting on our oars. Sensitizing people, educating them on the dangers, and especially in the flood-prone areas. We have been doing so, enlightening them so that they will. All we need is enforcement. If NIWA, they have marshals, but you talked about that, they have marshals, but the only thing is that they are not much. They cannot marshal all the riverine areas, communities in localities. All they need is the enforcement.
Just a few days before that, also in the month of August 2025, 4 people died in another boat accident in Goronyo, also in Sokoto State. As part of relief measures, the state government donated 100 bags of grain and 20 million naira to support affected members of the community. The government also provided life jackets and motorized boats to be distributed across areas including Sabon Birni, Bamako, Kwari, and Shagari.
That life jacket in question, the Commissioner of Transport is in Shinkai, and from there he will be going to Ibi. We are distributing this life jacket. And last week, this same ground we are given life jacket. And I don't know, whatever reason they have, why they don't use these life jackets.
Almost a year ago, the Taraba state government banned night journeys on its waterways following the scene of a boat mishap that claimed the lives of over 20 people.
I would just want to warn our union. The truth of the matter is that they are not following the rules and regulations that was laid down. We have said that anything 6 p.m. they should advise, they should stop loading. But the truth of the matter is that because of the nature of the area we are, our people will still want to. Even the drivers that were coming to cross, even at around 10, they will still want to cross so that they can get to their different homes. So they will insist that they want to enter, that there will be no problem. So I would just want to encourage the union that they should do all what they can do to avoid overloading, to avoid loading or carrying passenger at night. If we do that, at least there will be no incidents.
We've warned them against that, to avoid overloading of these boats. They must have manifests, so that whoever is boarding this boat, you must know who he is. To avoid night travels. All this we have warned them against. And as we speak, we are not going to spare anybody that is involved into this accident. Even though, Chairman, we are giving it to you, we need this boat operator, and we'll use it as an example.
The families of the victims resort to authorities to improve water transportation system in the riverine communities. In May 2025, at least 27 people died in a boat accident in Kaima local government area of Kwara State. That happened barely 7 months after a similar boat accident left scores of people dead.
It has been too concurrent that we've been seeing this, and we feel it is necessary. The HE has done enough. You see, they give them boats, they give them jackets, but people of Bajibo are not using it. They feel whatever happens, it is God. There are times there are some things you can avert. So we have some measures that we've taken. Now we form a 7-man committee that will oversee the activities of water transport. That committee, number one, we don't want any boat to move away from here at 6 p.m. till dawn. They can always move 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the evening. That is one. Two, that committee will oversee movement, overloading. The committee will oversee the loading and overloading of any boat that is moving away from here. And we are equally telling them they don't use jackets. The commercial boat, the owners they are looking for money. It's a commercial thing. They should try and buy jackets for every traveler, give it to them. When they use the jacket, when they get to the other end, they can return their jackets back to them.
Meanwhile, the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, commended the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, NSEMA, for its intervention in the boat mishap that occurred in Borogu local government area of Niger State. In a statement by the authority's Assistant General Manager, Corporate Affairs, Suleiman Makama, the agency noted that the prompt rescue efforts at the time led to the survival of at least 50 passengers who were on board the ill-fated boat.
Let me first express the authorities' condolence to the people of Niger about this recent boat mishap. We are tired of hearing all these fatalities coming through boat mishaps. And we are doing all we can as an authority to make sure that things like this doesn't happen. So I believe what must have caused this accident is still under investigation. But from the look of things, I think the boat ran into a log or a hard object inside the water. That was what caused the accident. As of today, it's 27. That is the number the National Inland Waterways Authority has and the Niger State Emergency Management Agency has. And we are working together on this issue. We are collaborating very well. We are looking into setting up community safety committee so that apart from our sensitization and enlightenment, they will go into the nooks and crannies with our staff to still continue to tell them of the need to do this. Then for the operators, based on our investigation, if it is discovered that it is the operator that is at fault concerning the incident, that operator will be prosecuted. And we are looking into setting up task force too for all these high-prone areas of boat mishap. So in whatever way we can reduce boat mishap and the consequent fatalities, we are looking into it.
According to earlier investigations, the boat was carrying passengers returning from a condolence visit to Duga community when the incident happened. NIWA says the mishap underscored the importance of safety by boat operators and passengers plying the nation's waterways. In their words, due to the correct usage of life jackets and prompt emergency response in that incident, 50 passengers were rescued, while search and rescue operations at that time were ongoing.
Can be done to encourage our people to wear life jackets. Simple. I think is more campaign, more advocacy, and we need to realign to continue to reorientate our people. I think it's just about orientation. It's just about let them know the importance of life jacket. Let me give you a life experience. The last one that happens in Sokoto, there was a particular man that was on life jacket, and there was a woman that was holding onto the man because the woman did not wear the life jacket and he knew the other guys wore the life jacket. And the guy sensing that this woman can be at least an impediment to his survival, he actually undressed the life jacket, and because both of them hold the life jacket, they were secured and saved. We will continue to advocate and campaign and to sensitize this, at least our people, so that we let them know the importance of this to their life. It is about their life. It's about securing our nation. There is nothing that happens to any nation. It's about people. Without people, there won't be any nations. So the straight answer is we need to continue to campaign, we need to continue to advocate, we need to continue to sensitize our people so that they will know that the best way, at least, to live longer, especially in the riverine area, is to wear the life jacket.
The authority further disclosed they had intensified efforts to trace and interrogate the boat operator as part of ongoing investigations.
At present, in enforcing our water transportation code, we have a case in 3 states now where we have mishaps last year, and we have in Niger. We are prosecuting the boat operators and the boat drivers in Niger, in Kogi, and in Onitsha. Presently, they are all in court. And this is to serve as a deterrent to others, so that they know that the moment. And another thing that baffles me is that anytime there is this boat mishap, the drivers are always saved. And it really shows that we need to take them serious. And we need to prosecute. We need to be sure that when there is a punitive actions after that, the other will learn their lesson. So there are some that are going on now. That's what I said, Kogi, Niger, and Onitsha, Navy and Coast Guard. In advanced countries, we have Coast Guard in America, we have Navy in America, we have Coast Guard in the United Kingdom, we have Navy in America. Coast Guard are to manage and man and enforce this transportational code on our inland waterway, not on our international waters. This is very important. This is why we are saying that it is important that we need to establish one so that we can have the best and achieve the best result on our waterways. Take for instance, even where we have the elites. The elites are the ones that go on the air. All of us here knew what happened in the last at least 2-3 months. Despite even at least the exposure of our people, you know that the two cases, the two celebrated cases. So it's always important that we have an arm that can take that enforcement to the higher level. And that's why we are advocating for the establishment of coast guards.
While commending INSEMA for its collaboration, NIWA cautions boat operators against overloading their boats, stressing that strict adherence to safety guidelines and capacity limits remains crucial to preventing accidents on the waterways.
NIWA as a regulator is empowered by law to enforce the rules and regulations, especially on the inland waterways. However, emerging challenges require a sophisticated enforcement approach. Therefore, through the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, NIWA had reached out to the relevant security agencies to complement its effort on safety enforcement. Going forward, we shall witness increased collaboration with the Marine Police and the Nigerian Navy, particularly as it relates to the enforcement of the ban on overloading, night sailing, no passenger movement between 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., and compulsory usage of life jackets on water. If the proposed coastal guards for inland waterway is established and operational, the authority believes that an important operational tool such as coastal guards will go a long way in strengthening its enforcement drive for better results. We therefore plead with the National Assembly to look into this direction. In the meantime, to build on the recent positives, the following are immediate action. NIWA has placed an immediate ban on loading activities from all unauthorized loading points across the country. No commercial passenger boat shall be allowed to load from any point other than those recognized and registered by NIWA. It is mandated for all commercial boats to provide and enforce the use of life jackets on the boat always. Every commercial passenger boat must properly display its boat name letters and load line. All unlicensed boats and watercraft to be removed from the waterways immediately. All unlicensed boat drivers and operators are banned from operating any boat or watercraft on waterways. And we call on the states, particularly the riverine state, to collaborate with NIWA in the area of safety campaigns, training of boat operators and boat drivers, procurement and distributions of life jackets, provisions of landing platforms, and deployment of modern passenger ferries.
Lagos State, a coastal one, where waters are not unfamiliar to residents, and for the authorities, a system is in place.
Generally, the economy has had a tough time, but we all know it's for good because we can see the efforts the federal government is making to ensure that states and local governments are able to, bring some kind of respite for the citizens, because they are the ones closest to the citizens. And we believe that all of that is cascading down to the state government and even to the local government through various initiatives. Now, of course, as you know, in transportation in Lagos, there is a reduction in the prices of fares for the passengers. This has started on the road transportation, and of course it's going to translate into the water transportation, because we've now introduced the cowrie card system. The cowrie card system is going to be the system easy for us to be able to keep data, know how exactly we can apply the subsidy for fares for water transportation providers. And of course, state government is not stopping at that as well. We're also looking for ways to ensure that operators can also have access to the boats infrastructure, because that's a critical component of the entire water transportation ecosystem. And that's because over time, these boats, of course, as you know, are capital intensive. So the state government is currently manufacturing boats to ensure that with these boats now, we can also carry out appropriate intervention for the operators on the waterways. Well, technology has helped, but in terms of how many operators we have, we currently have about 356 boats on our waterways. And this is a large consortium of different operators spanning across the 5 divisions of the state. However, what we've been able to get them to do is begin to form cooperatives. And as we speak today, we have 3 major cooperatives on the waterways, because that's the only way truly government can even support them as well. So we've seen that them organizing themselves into cooperatives, it's enabling them to be more organized, and it's easier for us to be able to monitor them that way. The state government set up a waterways monitoring and data management center, which we've used to adequately monitor waterways real time. This has helped us. We've also, of course, now through the implementation of the cowrie card, which takes not just even in terms of the fares that's being charged, but in terms of even the manifest. The manifest is now digital. That also helps us keep tabs on how many passengers are moving on our waterways as well. And of course, we have a monitoring and a patrol team, which is going around to ensure that people are adhering to the basic safety rules and regulations. And you must attest that over the last few years, we've seen a reduction in the amount of accidents on the waterways in Lagos State.
Vessel owners and boatmen must completely eliminate misdemeanor that contributes to accidents on watercourses that leads to loss of life, even as the authorities enforce the relevant laws to do just that. For Special Report, I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for watching.